Hello and welcome back to The Sims 4 and welcome to another speed building video. Today we're building Casa de Santa, and for those of you that have played Grand Theft Auto 5, you might know what I'm talking about. I'm building one of the protagonist's houses from Grand Theft Auto 5, that's Michael's house, Michael de Santa, and this was certainly an interesting build. I discovered many things whilst building this, mainly that I need to remember that houses that you see in video games may not match their interior. Same with TV shows and movies, you'll find it all the time that a house is just, the exterior is way too small to hold what you're seeing on the inside. Because, you know, movies and TV shows, they'll give you an exterior, but the insides are all just sets on some movie studio lot somewhere. I don't know if that's the case in GTA 5. I don't know if when you enter the house it sort of loads into this kind of pseudo-interior thing that doesn't really fit on the interior, but basically what I'm getting at is that there are parts of this house that just don't make sense. There is a room in this house, it's Jimmy's room, one of the Santa kids. His room makes no sense. It does not fit in this house. I could not make it work, and it really annoys me because I wanted it to work so bad, but I couldn't get it to fit into the house at all. And it's kind of the one problem I have with this. Actually, I lie, there are a couple of problems I have with this build. By the way, this is all the exterior work you're seeing here. I've got to the point with these videos where I barely talk about what's actually going on screen, because I'm lazy or something. But anyway, let's talk about my other problem. So, in Grand Theft Auto 5, when you go into this house, there upstairs you've got Tracy's room, that's Michael's daughter, Jimmy's room, and Michael's room. Those are the 3 rooms you can go into upstairs. Actually, no, 4. There's a bathroom as well, which I also had to mess about with to actually make work. But there's this room that you can't go into, and I have that room in this build. It exists, but there's nothing in it. I put nothing into that room because I simply could not make it work. What can I put in there? You've got 3 bedrooms for the, you know, you've got Michael and his wife, you've got Tracy and Jimmy. You've got a bathroom, and then you've got this room that makes no sense. It serves no purpose in the game, and I couldn't give it a purpose here, so, well, there's that, I suppose. So, as well as not being able to work on a purpose for that room, and as well as not being able to make Jimmy's room necessarily work, and the bathroom as well, there's a lot of things I couldn't make work on this build. It still turned out okay, it'll still work as a family home, and I'm gonna put some Sims in here and have some fun with it, but as well as that, so, this house is situated in a place called Rockford Hills, which is based on Beverly Hills because obviously Los Santos is just LA. It's situated in Rockford Hills. The house is actually on a slope in-game in GTA 5. You can't do that in The Sims. You can't have any terrain adjustments in The Sims 4, which kind of sucks. I can see why. I mean, you're in this little suburb, it wouldn't make sense to have the house on a hill, but it would be nice to have the option to maybe put the house on some kind of hill. It doesn't really matter. I make it work. I mean, I use the foundations here to create a nice bit of a flowing shape. There's lots of different kind of areas to the foundation back patio thing when it's finished. It all comes together and it all works quite nicely, but I would really love just someday to see a way to either create your own world or create some sloped terrain. It would have made this house a little bit easier to recognize, I suppose. If I had this on a slope as opposed to just the flat ground, it would probably be easier to recognize as Michael de Santa's house from GTA 5. But as it stands, I mean, I think I do a reasonable representation of it. That's the whole point of this, you know. I went into it thinking I'll recreate it, but I realized very quickly that that's not going to be possible. It's going to be a case of, and it was a case of, looking at it in GTA, because that's what I did throughout the build. I had GTA on my TV and The Sims on my computer, and I was running around in GTA looking at all the bits and pieces and how it came together, and then looking in The Sims for something that sort of resembled that. Obviously, you can't completely recreate it, and I mean, I tried my best to recreate the kind of wall and floor layout, both downstairs and upstairs, but it just, you know, it's not possible to get an exact recreation of it. In fact, the stairs are probably the prime example of that. In GTA, the stairs go up and then turn to the right and continue upwards. You can't do that in The Sims 4, you have to go straight up with them, so the upper landing is a little bit weird in this, and it doesn't quite match what you see in GTA, but I think the point I'm getting to is that overall, if you play on this house, and you play Grand Theft Auto 5, you'll be able to look at it and go, oh, I know that bit, oh, I know that bit too. Like the living room, for example, I look at it and I can see that it's from GTA. Same with the kitchen, same with the dining area. I think the upstairs is really the only place that's not as recognizable. And that's because the upstairs, at least in GTA 5, and I just don't think it translates well into The Sims. I think that's what I'm getting at here. It translates reasonably well downstairs. The upper floors on the upper floor on this, just not so much. Anyway, I think I've gone on enough about what you can't do with this. Let's actually talk about what is going on here. So, obviously, this is a family home. Downstairs, you've got a nice living space, plenty of room for guests to come over. You've got four chairs at the kitchen table or the dining table, whatever you want to call it. So you're not really going to be sitting and eating with your guests. I think the main room of this house is certainly going to be the living room, which is ridiculously large. It is a nice big room. There's lots of space for seating in there. There's actually a lot of chairs just about the house. There's this little sofa here in the entranceway. There's also like a little dining chair in this entranceway as well. There is a two-seater, a three-seater, 2 and 3-seater sofas in the living room, as well as two just standalone armchair things. And I think upstairs there's a couple of dining chairs sitting in the upper landing as well. But as I said, the main room in this house is going to be this living space, which, as you can see, I've had to block off some of the windows on. Once again, that comes back to the house not exactly fitting with the way it looks. It's a weird layout. I hate to keep coming back to it, but it's just weird. So I had to block off the windows, and eventually I go ahead and put some dark wallpaper in there just to make it look and make you realize and know that that is an area that you're not going to be going to. That doesn't serve a purpose. It's just there to make the exterior of the house work. Anyway, I'm not getting back into that. Let's talk about what I'm doing here in the living room. So, all of the paintings that you can see, those are in places where there are actually paintings. These chairs are not quite perfect. The sofa in the actual DeSanta house is a 3 or 4-seater sofa with a sort of bit that comes out. It's an L-shaped sofa, so I just used a 3 and 2-seater, 3-seater and a 2-seater sofa to sort of make that work. They also have a massive projector screen above their fireplace, but you can't get that in The Sims, so I just used a nice big TV. I was tempted to scale it up just to make it look slightly, you know, fancier and like it was a much more rich household, but I don't like doing that with TVs unless it's in a bar and you have this like giant wall of TVs. So I think just having the little one there worked. Now here we are in the kitchen trying to get this to work. I love this kitchen. I'm genuinely really happy with how this kitchen turned out. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It serves the purpose. I mean, it looks like the kitchen from the game. The DeSanta kitchen where, you know, Trevor first meets Michael after 10 years, spoiler, after 10 years of being away. It looks good. I'm happy with it. I mean, I couldn't get the perfect layout. The chairs are slightly different around that island, but if I put them where they're actually supposed to be, it would kind of block off the flow through the kitchen. So, you know, just a couple of little compromises here and there to make it work. But I'm really happy with how this kitchen actually turned out. I love it to bits. It's functional, it's stylish, it works. Now this little area over here is actually the dining space. This is where you can sit around and enjoy your food. I love that it's actually right beside the kitchen. Usually when I build houses, the dining area is sort of in a room just off the, you know, it's either off the kitchen or it's down the hall and somewhere else. I love that it's right there. I really do. Now that door you saw me change a second ago and put the little chair beside, that leads into the room I was talking about that serves no purpose. That room, empty. You can do what you want with that if you download this house, which, by the way, you can. This house will be on the gallery, and, yeah, the way to find it will be in the description, I suppose. So this room we're working on here is Tracy's room. This is actually the only bedroom that makes sense in this build. It's the only one that I can actually make fit into the build in a scale that is more or less exactly the same as it is in GTA 5. I like it. I mean, it's a nice bedroom. It's really nice, actually, but I'm just disappointed it's the only one I could get to work. So this room here is Jimmy's room. This is the one I was talking about that simply does not work with the size of this house. I don't know why. I genuinely do not know why this room is like this. I've probably got it in sort of the wrong place, and the proportions of the house are probably off a little bit. If the house is a little bit bigger overall, you could probably fit this in perfectly, but I wasn't going back to redo the entire thing. This room here is the master bedroom. This is Michael and Amanda's bedroom, which is also meant to be much, much larger than this, and also have a walk-in closet. Again, that didn't happen. Nope, that did not happen in the slightest. Could not get it to work, and I'm really disappointed with that. Now, what you can see me doing here is just adjusting the layout upstairs a little bit to fit a bathroom in. This bathroom, again, not the way it is in GTA, but the only way I could get it to work was by doing this. So, at least they actually have a bathroom. It's a little bit weird to me, actually, that this big house only has one bathroom, but that's the way it is, I suppose. Anyway, that is pretty much the interior done. We're out here just playing about with the patio, making it all work and making it look nice and pretty. And like I said, using the foundations and the lower tier just to get everything to actually come together and look quite nice. I also decided that I wanted to put some grass along the edge of the patio because there is a sort of grassy area with plants and stuff in it in Grand Theft Auto, so I just wanted to recreate that here as well, and it sort of just hides the fact that a lot of the back area of the lot is empty. I didn't put anything back there. There's nothing I could put back in those empty spaces because there isn't really anything in some of them. I mean, some of them do. There is a tennis court that I could have put in, but it's like down a flight of stairs to a lower area of the hill. You can't do that in The Sims, so I decided to just, you know, give up with the tennis court idea and sort of I just put some hedges up along this path. So what you can see me doing here is trying to work out, just as an FYI, as to why I'm sort of faffing about there. I couldn't work out how to do the angled floor tiles. There's a cut coming up because I went and googled it and found out how to do it. It's Control F and you can do angled floor tiles, and I just used that to finish up this little pathway here, and there you go, angled floor tiles. Makes it look much, much better. I'm really happy with how this little pathway turned out. And really, folks, that is going to be it. I changed it to a hedge. I put a couple of trees up. And there's also, well, there is obviously the front to do as well. But other than that, that is going to be it. That is the DeSanta household. I'm really quite happy with how this turned out. It could have been better. Also, yoga mats, have to have those in there. It could have been a little bit better. Maybe if I looked at the proportions of the house in GTA a bit more, it would have worked out, but, I mean, I like it. I think you can look at it and recognize it as the DeSanta household from GTA. I think I had a reasonable stab at it. Like I said, you can get this on the gallery yourself if you want to play with it in The Sims. It's completely free to do so. The directions of how to do that will be in the description below. If you have any suggestions for any future builds on this series, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. And with that in mind, thank you very much for watching. You're looking fabulous, by the way. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.